All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to explore something literally out of this world. Well, actually, scratch that. It is our world. Have you ever just stopped and wondered how massive and beautifully complicated Earth really is? Today, we're unpacking a really bright, fascinating topic, the biosphere. We'll be looking at what makes Earth so unique, how living things interact with their environment, and how the whole shebang connects into one giant, incredible system. So, get comfortable and let's start exploring the world right under our feet and right above our heads. So, to kick things off, what does that big word actually mean? Well, the biosphere is basically just the part of Earth where life exists. You can think of it as the ultimate home on our planet. It's not just the animals and plants. It includes every single living thing and the exact environments where they hang out. Basically, if you can find life there, whether it's a bird way up in the sky or a weird little fish deep in the ocean, it's officially part of the biosphere.
Now, imagine zooming all the way in from space. You'd see those bright blue oceans, massive green forests, huge mountains, and, the fluffy clouds in the sky. The biosphere isn't just one single, flat place. It's actually a combination of the physical layers of our planet interacting together. Life kind of weaves its way through the air, the water, and the ground to create this complete, living puzzle.
Let's break that puzzle down into its three main pieces. The biosphere overlaps with three physical layers. First up, we have the atmosphere. That's the lower layer of air wrapped around the Earth. It's where birds fly and obviously where we get our oxygen. Second is the hydrosphere. Think hydro, think water. This is all the water on Earth, the giant oceans, winding rivers, deep lakes, and even the groundwater hiding right beneath our feet. And finally, there's the lithosphere, which is the upper part of the Earth's crust made up of rocks and soil. The crazy thing here is that life finds a way to thrive absolutely everywhere, up in the air, deep in the water, and right down in the dirt.
Okay, let's shift gears to the real stars of the biosphere, living matter. When we talk about living matter, we literally mean absolutely all living organisms on Earth. Look around, it's everywhere. We're talking towering trees, tiny insects, massive elephants, the mushrooms popping up in the forest, microscopic bacteria you can't even see, algae in the water, and, yep, even you and me, humans. Every single one of these living things grows, reproduces, needs energy, and interacts with the world around them.
Now, all these living things aren't just sitting around. They have some seriously important jobs or functions that keep the Earth running. Let's walk through them. First is the gas function. Plants release oxygen for us to breathe, while animals release carbon dioxide. Pretty neat trade. Then there's the concentration function, which means living things actually store up useful substances, like a clam stores calcium to build its shell. Next is oxidation reduction. Sounds super complicated, right? But it basically just means bacteria help recycle important stuff like sulfur and nitrogen. Then we have the biochemical function, which is amazing. Plants perfectly capture sunlight to make their own food through photosynthesis. And lastly, the energy function, where plants take the sun's energy and pass it along the food chain.
Speaking of the food chain, let's look at how this all connects in a massive flow of energy. Everything on Earth is linked. Here's how it moves. Step 1, it all starts with the sun, our ultimate energy source. Step 2, the producers, our leafy green plants, soak up that sunlight. Step 3, a consumer, like a herbivore, say a hungry grasshopper, eats the plant. Step 4, another consumer, a carnivore like a bird, swoops in and eats the grasshopper. And finally, Step 5, when plants and animals die, decomposers like bacteria and mushrooms break them down. This returns all those good nutrients right back into nature. It's a perfect non-stop circle from the bright sun down to the tiny mushrooms. Okay, so we've talked a ton about things that are alive right now. But what happens to living matter after a really, really, really long time? Well, that brings us to biogenic matter. By definition, biogenic matter is made of substances formed from the remains of living organisms or from things they did in the past. We are talking about stuff you probably use or hear about every single day. Coal, oil, natural gas, peat, limestone. That's right, those heavy black chunks of coal and the oil pumping out of the ground, they actually started out as living, breathing creatures and green plants millions of years ago. No way, right?
So why does all this ancient matter actually matter to us today? Well, it's incredibly useful. For starters, it preserves the history of life. Fossils, chalk, limestone, they all act like natural time capsules, helping scientists study creatures that lived millions of years ago. Second, it participates in the cycle of matter. These substances hold on to chemical elements, like carbon, that eventually cycle back into nature. Third, it helps form rocks and that rich, fertile soil that helps our new plants grow.
And fourth, it's super important for people. We use coal, oil, and gas for energy to heat our homes, and we use limestone to build our buildings.
But how does this mind-blowing transformation actually happen? Here is nature's million-year recipe. Step 1. Living organisms, plants, tiny sea bugs, animals, live their lives and eventually die. Step 2. Instead of just rotting away, their remains get quickly buried under thick layers of sand, clay, and mud. Step 3. This is where time works its magic. Over millions and millions of years, extreme heat from deep inside the earth and heavy pressure from all those layers squeezing down, it slowly bakes those buried remains into the valuable biogenic substances like coal and oil that we mine today.
We've covered a lot of ground so far. We've looked at living plants and animals, and we've looked at the ancient coal and oil they eventually become. So before we move forward, I want you to take a second and think about this. What would you say is the absolute main difference between living matter and biogenic matter? Put the pieces together in your head.
Did you get it? Let's look at the ultimate side-by-side comparison. Take a cute little rabbit. It is living matter. It's alive. It grows, breathes, reproduces, and definitely needs food to survive. Now, compare that to a lump of coal. That is biogenic matter, and it is definitely not alive. It doesn't breathe. It doesn't grow. Instead, it's a historical product. It was created by living organisms a long, long time ago. So one is active right now, and the other is a literal gift from the Earth's deep past.
Let's zoom back out to the big picture and look at why this whole system is just so important. First, living matter supports all current life on Earth. It's the engine of our day-to-day world. Second, biogenic matter connects the past and the present, giving us energy and resources that took millions of years to make. And third, together, they keep the balance of nature. The biosphere isn't just a random collection of random things. It is one beautifully connected system where the past and the present work as a team to keep our planet healthy.
And that brings us to our final, most important takeaway. When you think about how every plant, every animal, every drop of water, and even the rocks beneath our feet are all working together to sustain life, it makes you realize how precious this system is. The lesson here is simple but really powerful. Protect the biosphere. Protect life on Earth. But remember, big changes always start small. So what is one tiny thing you can do today to protect your piece of the biosphere? Keep exploring, stay curious, and remember how connected we all are to this amazing planet.